Well, I'll tell you flat out why I think the sleep of the dead, otherwise known as conditional immortality, which is simply to say that your immortality is something you don't have yet, but is conditioned on the future resurrection, is a very beautiful doctrine. And the reason I hold it with such conviction is that most scholars know this. Now, people in churches don't always say it very clearly because the public might not be ready for it, but it's a very beautiful, simple idea that when you're dead, you're sleeping. So the one we trot out all the time in discussion with people is Ecclesiastes 9, 5, and 10. Ecclesiastes 9 simply says, when you're dead, nothing's going on. The dead know nothing at all. There's no activity in Sheol. That's the Hebrew word for where you go, the grave, otherwise known in Greek as Hades, that's the modern Greek pronunciation, or Hades. Nothing going on there. I would say if you can't believe that, what can you believe? That seems to me quite beautiful. And I'm then encouraged in that view by reading in Keil and Delitzsch. Keil and Delitzsch, you may know, are the sort of Rolls Royce of Old Testament commentary. And Delitzsch is very clear. He says, it's simply amazing that anybody could say that the dead are not dead. And he challenges his fellow commentators to get real. Some of them try to get rid of those texts in Ecclesiastes 5, 9, and 10. And then Delitzsch says beautifully, that view of the dead as unconscious is held by the whole Old Testament. Well, marvelous. 75% of our Bible is quite clear. I'll just mention a couple of verses for your notes, but I would recommend you go to our site and read the little booklet I did on this. Or if you really want to become an expert, do read the work by Froom, F-R-O-O-M, Leroy Froom, a Seventh-day Adventist, called The Conditionalist Faith of Our Fathers. I'll repeat it, The Conditionalist Faith of Our Fathers by Froom. I mean, it's a superb study in great detail. So if you're planning to be an expert in this field, you need to read that. But just three brief verses beyond the Ecclesiastes 5, 9, and 10. You have in Psalm 146:4, when you die, your thoughts perish. You have in Psalm 13:3, the very phrase, sleep of the dead. And then you have the fact that sleep is mentioned 68 times as being death. And the final one is where Jesus himself said, when Lazarus died, Jesus, and he's the ultimate authority, he knows the truth better than any of us. He says, Lazarus is dead. He first of all said, Lazarus is sleeping. And they thought, well, Jesus is just saying, well, if he sleeps, he'll recover. And then Jesus said plainly, Lazarus is dead, but I'm going to raise him from death. The only way you will get out of your mortality is via resurrection. That's a very simple truth. Most scholars know it, but they're not saying it very loudly. So get busy and get that wonderful truth around, and people will love it, I'm sure.